What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another video review, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Onyx Prime. One of the primes that I was definitely looking forward to the most, especially when they did the Hasbro Pulse live stream about it, because man, when I was looking at that thing, holy hell was I super impressed with just the general looks of this guy. Now, this guy, I believe, was the 8th of the Prime, so he was still sort of in the middle, and according to the TF Wiki, essentially, he was also a very balanced personality. He ended up befriending Micronus Prime, and then when Megatronus accidentally killed Solus Prime, I believe her death was the was hit him the hardest, in particular. In addition, his artifact, as you'll see as we get into the review, is the Triptych Mask, which allowed him to see, like, not just physical things, but like your soul, spirit, stuff like that. So he was able to see with that, and then they sort of reimagined this, as you sort of see on the box art, into like a spearhead, which is pretty damn cool. But taking a look at the box here, you can see the very nice Transformers. You can see the Age of the Primes right there, the 13 Onyx Prime. You can also see the very nice artwork here of Onyx Prime, both in his robot mode, in his Centaur mode. And you have the 12 steps and the 19 steps, because yes, this guy is a triple changer technically. And then you also have the very nice artwork here in his sort of Griffin mode, is what I like to call it. More art here of the 13 that we see as well. And then on the back, your nice obligatory product shots. You can see him both in his robot mode, in his Centaur mode, and then finally in his Beast mode here, his Griffin mode. But as per usual with the box, I think they absolutely nail it. And so without further ado, folks, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Onyx Prime in his little Griffin mode, and I gotta say, this looks really, really cool. The only thing that kind of throws me off about this thing is sort of mainly how the horse legs look here. They do look a bit weird in my opinion. What I had been doing, if you guys want to, I had been slinging these like over his shoulder here, and then I actually just make him a four-legged. Looks more like a traditional Griffin, right? But at the end of the day, it's up to personal preference, but I think it still looks pretty fine. I think it's the worst of his three modes, but it doesn't look bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it does look really cool. So you can see here the head sculpt looks really, really cool. You can see the very nice molded detail. There's a lot of great molded detail across this guy. The nice gold spikes here, the red eyes. You can see the very nice detail even in the wings here on the back. You can see all that feather detailing there. Well, these also look like bat wings down here, but regardless, see the very nice detail here on the wings themselves. This gold here just looks really nice. Nice to be an accent color around. You can see the very nice just proportions. I think he looks great. The top does also look a bit weird, but at the end of the day, when I'm taking a look at this beast mode, I actually think it looks really, really good. And so when it comes to the articulation, the wings themselves, they can go up and down like this, and then they can also twist back and forth. And then these can also fold in, but that's mainly due to transformation, in my opinion. The head can also twist a little bit as well, and then your mouth can open and close pretty far. You can see that. And then in the inside of the mouth, I believe there is a little tab in there, but I don't remember if that was blast effect compatible, but it does look really cool. The back legs here, you do have a little waist joint here, and then these can also go back and forth. They can go back and forth like that. They can rotate here, but that's all the rotation. Then you have a little ankle rocker, which will be replicated in the robot mode. Same thing here. You're on like a little swivel here, so you can go like this, and then you can also do this. And then they can bend, but I just like to keep the center legs with static. And then these ones also have these joints, but these are mainly for transformation. But you can twist the arm, you can do this, you can go up and down like this, you can bend it about 90 degrees rotation here as well. But because of how this guy is, you more or less want to keep him sort of straight like this, just so that he stands nicely. Not that he can't stand nicely, but I do prefer the fact that, yeah, I know, I just like keeping him straight like this. I don't like to have this beast mode in any crazy poses or anything like that. Now his tail here is an accessory, but I will get into that later, because this has more application in his Centaur mode, which we'll go into. But what we're going to do is we're going to do our size comparison. So let me see if I can raise the camera up just a little bit here, because the wings give him a lot more extra height than you'd necessarily expect given the figure itself. But he does feel weighty too. That's one thing I didn't mention. But we're going to set Onyx off to the side here. Alrighty, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. This looks really, really solid. Obviously, a Leader versus a Deluxe, there's going to be a massive size discrepancy, but I can damn well tell you that Onyx really holds that Leader class size class, and that feels really good in this context. Transformers Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Solus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Alchemist Prime. His buddy, Transformers Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Micronus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Voyager Class Prima Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Leader Class Megatronus the Fallen. And last but not least, Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. Alrighty, folks, and now that we've gotten into the the Beast mode, the Griffin mode, and we've taken a look at the sizes, we're going to do the Centaur mode first off, and this transformation really isn't all that bad, really. So to do that, what I like to do is you come down here to the horse legs, and then you can extend them, and then by virtue, you also can push these legs down a bit more, and then just get them to extend to match this. All you got to do from here is you got to flip the head back, the beast mode head back. What I like to do is also, well, you can keep this on. I think it's alright. And then you can take this entire section, rotate it all the way up. And what you'll do from here is you'll split the arms with those joints that we showed earlier, rotate the arms down, take the actual head of what will become Onyx Prime, rotate that up, and really, that's about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes, Leader Class Onyx Prime, in his really cool looking Centaur mode. And so guys, when it comes to a Centaur mode, this is where I'll probably show you the accessories. So for his tail here, what we can do is we can remove it, because it's unnecessary to remove it when you have it. Now this doubles as a bow, so it's pretty cool. So you can split it right here down the middle. Alrighty, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by my stupid phone not having enough storage, I guess, for some reason. But this looks really nice. As a tail, as a bow, it does look really, really solid. Now, the way you're supposed to do this, we'll actually have to bring in his artifact. So this is the triptych mask that I was talking about that was repurposed into a spearhead. It actually comes like this in the package, and then you just tab it on like this. But it looks really good. You can see the very nice molded in detail. And putting a picture of how it appeared on screen, it does represent it relatively well. It has a triptych, right? So 3. So nice to see essentially 3 things here. Now, to put this in his hand, you can very easily just do this. Like this, and surprisingly, he can hold his weight with these back legs relatively nicely. So you can actually balance him quite well, despite not necessarily looking like it. Yeah, like, look at that. You can balance him quite well. So that's really cool that he has the ability to be balanced that well. With just his hind legs, which I really, really like. So, let's increase that back up. But you can put it in like that. Now, to do this, it's so funky. I believe it's so you have a tab hole right there, then you have tabs here. I believe you just do something like this. And then what you do is you can grab one of these, and then I believe he's got tab holes in his hand. You can see those right there. And then you essentially just tab this little tab here right in there, and then you can have him hold a bow. So it's actually pretty cool. Like, I really do like the integration of this, but because of how it's designed, it also just kind of looks weird sometimes in his hand. So you can only realistically get a pose like this out of it. But other than that, it is cool to have a Centaur with a bow, because this is like next to like a spear. This is one like the, signature weapons that a Centaur, like in mythology, I think would have, and that we've seen in pictures throughout, history. So I think that's really cool that they thought of that. So that's cool. So we'll grab this and set this off to the side. But taking a look at the Centaur mode, it does look really, really nice. I really do like the proportions of it. I think it's better than his Beast mode. By far, in my opinion, it's actually, I think, is my favorite mode of his. Well, take a look at the head sculpt here. Head sculpt looks really, really cool with all this, detail, like the red eyes there, the gold, where teeth look like. See this nice silver on the chest, and you come down here to the crotch piece. It also looks really, really good. Like, overall, this is a really good looking mode, and it looks good from every angle, except realistically the back, because the head does look a bit funky, right? But at the end of the day, it looks really, really solid. So for the articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you can do full 360, and then you can go back and forth, a little bit up and down in general. You can do a little wiggle waggle as well. Full 360 here at the shoulders, although the wings bump into them. Wings do the same articulation they had in the Griffin mode. These go out, these go in. Rotation here, 90 degrees at the elbow. Wrist rotation as well, which is always really, really nice. The legs are articulated the same way as they are in the Beast mode. The only major difference with them is that they're a bit longer now, so they're a little more stiff and sometimes a little loose, and that's one thing we'll get into when we get into the robot mode. We'll end up talking about that. But overall, when it comes to a Centaur mode, I really do like how this looks, and definitely out of the 3 modes, it's tied for my favorite next to his robot mode, but I'd have to really think about whether it's still my actual fave. So, alrighty, with that all out of the way, it's time to get into the transformation going into his robot mode, which really isn't all that difficult going from here, but it's actually pretty cool. So first thing I like to do is I like to change these, and then you can switch them like this. You can push these out here, then take the wings, and you can fold those down, like so. Then what you're going to want to do is rotate this all the way around, and then you're going to want to sort of push this in the back, and you'll see it go like this. They'll fit into like this little slot here in the back. If you want to, I like to do sometimes, you can also... I forgot about this. Sorry about that articulation. Forgot about that. You can fold it right in... Excuse me, to rotate this all the way around too. I don't know why. I forgot about that. Rotate that down. Fold this like this, and then do the same thing on this side. So you can fold this forward, and then you'll fold it back. It's just to give clearance. Rotate that like so. And then you can fold these back. And what you'll notice on the side of his chest, you will see right here, there are tabs on both sides, and then on the sides of his hoofs, there are tab holes. You want to rotate them down, and then you can sort of rest them in place there. They don't tab in the best. You can rest them in place there, both on his shoulders like that. Tab this right into place. Then what you can do with the legs is you can extend them a little bit more, and then you have heels that you can fold out here like that on the bottom. So extend the legs a little bit more. Then the last thing you have to do, I'm not even joking, is just take the head and then just push it up like that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Onyx Prime. It is absolutely, like, stunning looking robot mode. And when we're taking a look at this guy's robot mode, it's absolutely fantastic. And so when we set this guy off to the side here, we'll put a picture of how sort of the design was from the art that I found online about from him. He looks really, really good in retrospect. Like, overall, he looks fantastic. And I just love that this guy has this big presence to him, especially because of his wingspan, helps him feel like huge. You know how like a lion has a mane, the male lion has a mane to make him feel to predators, or other animals, to make him feel intimidating. Well, that's how I feel when I look at his wings here. Reminds me of Airraiser too with how he's designed. But taking a look here, you can see the head sculpt without that mask on. It looks really, really good. The silver with the red eyes, that looks really, really good, and all those details that you saw earlier come out through here. The only issue I really have with this robot mode, and he does have a rather large backpack, but that's because he has wings, is that you can see the legs aren't super tight, and if you unlock them, they tend to break his stance and stuff like that, and he tends to fall over because he is a bit top heavy, considering if you look at the top of his body. I mean, look how much bulk is on the top of his body, and then look at his legs. It's amazing to me how it can still support the weight in a Centaur mode. But regardless, you see what I'm saying. Overall, when it comes to the details, I mean, you can even see all those details. They just look so good across this figure. At the end of the day, the major issue I have is really how the legs are, because, well, when it comes to the legs, again, you just move them a little bit in the wrong way, and unfortunately, well, what's going to happen is they are going to tip him over, and because he's so top heavy. But overall, he looks fantastic, and he has this awesome shelf presence with a little bit of backpack, but overall still looks really, really good. So what we're going to do is we are going to set him off to the side, and we are going to do our size comparisons. Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnius. His buddy, Transformers Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Micronus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Solus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Deluxe Class Alchemist Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Voyager Class Prima Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes, Leader Class Megatronus the Fallen, and this is where I have a hard time choosing between which of these two I like more, but I'm beginning to like Onyx a bit more than I do Megatronus. But you can see the Leader Class size. And finally, Transformers Studio Series 86, Commander Class Optimus Prime. And so now we get into his articulation, and it's pretty solid, not the craziest, but pretty solid overall. So when it comes to his head, again on the ball joint, you can do full 360 up and down. You do get a little bit of more limited movement because of these hoof legs, his horse legs, but these will do full 360. Again, you have to move the rings, but these shoulder pads can go up, they can go up, they can out. You can bend here at the elbow 90 degrees, rotation at the elbow as well, opening and closing fists, and rotating fists as well. Rotating fists as well. You can see that there. And then from here, you also have a waist. Now, to do this, you're going to have to lift up both of these, and then you can rotate full 360. And then for the legs, they can kick forward, they can kick back. They bend like this, depending on which joint you have them locked in. These can also go back and forth, and then you do have ankle rocker, and then rotation here at the upper part of the thigh. The least amount of articulation, in my opinion, that you have leeway with is with his legs, and that's just because of his top heaviness and how the legs are designed. You put them in the wrong joint, like I told you. I mean, you can see he's still already you can see him tip over there. He's already trying to fall over because of how the legs are designed. But that's the only major issue I have with his articulation. Other than that, it's pretty damn good all around. Just nothing super crazy. And obviously I didn't show, but the wings had the same articulation that they've had in both modes. Alrighty, folks, and it's time to get into the reverse transformation, which really isn't all that bad. Again, this guy's transformation overall really isn't all too bad. There's just a couple of things that obviously clink into each other because of how much kibble he has, but in all reality, it's not that bad at all. So first things first, we're going to take the spear that we have, his spear, and we're going to remove it here. Then what we're going to do... Oh, well, the one thing I did forget to show, I guess as we're getting into this, you can store the spear here on the back. And you can also store it on the beast mode. That's just one thing, but you can store it here on the back like so. Like that. And you can store it like that. So you have tab hole on either side. You can store it on either side. But yeah, just wanted to show that. I forgot to show that off. Just remember it now. But reverse transformation. I like to take the legs, and you can do this with them. Then you can rotate these around and then rotate these forward. Take the head, you can scrunch that in. Do the same thing on this side. Rotate these forward. Rotate the hands forward. What you can do, you can sort of collapse the legs a bit more. Fold the heels in. Collapse the legs on that joint, then on that joint. Then you can fold these in on both sides. Then from here, what you're going to want to do, take these, rotate them outwards. Fold the head in. Fold this down. Extend the wings up to get them out of the way. Then you can rotate these around like so. Then you can accordion them on that joint like so. Same thing here, so rotate these around. Accordion them on the joint like that. Fold this crotch piece down. Rotate the legs down like so. Like that. Like this, like this. And fan these out. So just readjust this guy a little bit more. Do that. Take the wings, you can fold these out, give him his look there. And then the tail part, you'll see that there is a little tab hole right in there, and then you have a tab right there. And then all you got to do is this. Well, you can push that down. Straighten him all out a little bit more. And this is the tab you can store the spear on the back, but I don't really use it all that much just because I don't think it looks all that good. Most vehicle mode storage and in general for Transformers looks terrible, and this is no exception. But, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes, Leader Class Onyx Prime, back in his Beast Griffin mode. And so guys, for my final concluding thoughts on the Transformers Age of the Primes, Leader Class Onyx Prime, our next Leader Class iteration or introduction into the 13 original Primes is a fantastic figure. This is really, really awesome. I love the Beast mode, even though I do think that the horse legs you can see here, they look a bit weird in this mode, but overall I still think they look fine. You can obviously modify this to your discretion depending on your preferences. The other thing too is that his back legs are the worst part about him in my opinion. When it comes to his back legs, I just think that they don't like lock in sometimes, and then because he's so top heavy specifically like in his robot mode, it's really kind of hard sometimes to get him balanced without him just kind of toppling over. But once you get that sweet spot, he's perfectly fine. It's just there's certain areas you don't quite want to bend it, which also at the end of the day limits the articulation. And because of how his legs are designed, they aren't traditional legs, and so you don't get that full range of motion that you would for more traditional legs that most Transformers have. But other than that, all three modes look really, really good, although his Beast mode has a couple of issues with it, particularly when you look at it from the top. I otherwise think it looks great. Then you get into the Centaur mode, and that looks really awesome. And then finally into the Robot mode, which looks absolutely fantastic. And then you also get in the individual modes. He just has this imposing figure with all this nice paint, all these nice details. He sizes really well. He feels like a big leader class figure, especially sizing up to Megatronus. He's a really cool figure. In addition, his accessories are really cool. Although they don't have the best integrations, the fact is they have really, really solid integration, really, really solid like looks for them. I like the sort of play on his triptych mask being a spear. I just don't like how they're stored, particularly the spear on his Beast mode. But other than that, this is a really amazing figure with an awesome shelf presence, and if you're looking to collect the 13 Primes, I would highly recommend you pick this guy up. And so out of a 10, I'm going to give this guy a 9. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. He's damn close to it. There's just a couple of things that I mentioned at the beginning that definitely put me off from giving this guy a full 10. But if I had to choose between him and Megatronus, I'm actually kind of inching towards him more than I am Megatronus, and Megatronus is a fantastic figure. So, I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link in the description to that. Also, leave the links down below to Hasbro Pulse as well as Amazon if you guys wish to look at those retailers instead. I'm going to use those. I definitely also wish you the best of luck in hunting this guy IRL, because given that I've gotten him in the mail, he should be hitting retailers relatively soon. So keep an eye on your local retailers that sell Transformers. Might find this guy on the shelves now, if not relatively soon. So that's really it. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.